Welcome to the Rainy Room podcast, a quiet space to unwind, reflect, and dive into the stories of people who shaped the world, one bold decision at a time. Tonight we sit with the story of a man who believed in beauty, simplicity, and thinking differently. This is the story of Steve Jobs. Steve was born in 1955 in San Francisco. His birth parents were students, young and uncertain. They gave him up for adoption. A working-class couple from Mountain View, Paul and Clara Jobs, raised him. As a child, Steve was curious, rebellious, intelligent, but also restless. He once said, "I was a misfit. I never quite fit in at school, and I saw things differently." He loved machines, took apart radios, but he also loved art, calligraphy, music, things that most engineers ignored. This blend of the technical and the poetic would shape everything he created. In 1972, Steve enrolled at Reed College, but he dropped out after 6 months, not because he was lazy, but because he wanted to learn what he cared about, not what the curriculum dictated. He slept on the floor of friends' rooms, returned Coke bottles for food money, and still, he attended classes that moved him, like calligraphy. Years later, that class would shape the typography of the first Mac computer. "You can't connect the dots looking forward," he once said. "You can only connect them looking backward." In 1976, in his parents' garage, Steve and his friend Steve Wozniak built the first Apple computer. They weren't trying to build an empire, just a better personal computer. And yet, they did build an empire. Apple grew fast, very fast. By his mid-20s, Steve was a millionaire. By 30, a visionary, but also difficult, demanding, obsessive. In 1985, Apple's board fired him from the very company he built. That would have broken most people, but not Steve. He called that moment a gift. Free from Apple, he could start again. So he founded a new company, Next. And he bought a small animation studio called Pixar. Both ideas were considered odd, risky, unlikely to succeed. Pixar's first film, Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated feature film in history, a masterpiece, a revolution. By the late 90s, Apple was struggling. Ironically, it was Steve's new company, Next, that Apple would acquire, bringing him back to the company he once founded. And with his return, everything changed. The iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. Steve didn't just make products. He made experiences. He didn't just sell tech. He sold emotion, design, elegance. He said, "Design is not just what it looks like. Design is how it works." But behind all the glamour was a man who meditated daily, who walked barefoot in the office, who believed that silence, clarity, and simplicity were more powerful than noise and complexity. He believed that people didn't always know what they wanted until you showed it to them. In 2003, Steve was diagnosed with cancer. He fought, quietly, relentlessly. He continued to innovate even as his body was fading. In 2011, he stepped down as Apple's CEO, and later that year, he passed away. He was only 56. But in those short years, Steve Jobs changed the way we communicate, listen, watch, work, and think. His legacy isn't just in technology or it's in intention or it's in caring about details that most overlook. It's in believing that we all have a chance to leave a dent in the universe if we're bold enough to try. He once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." Thank you for listening to the Rainy Room podcast. If this story moved you, even just a little, subscribe for more. Each week, we'll be here with quiet stories, deep meaning, and soft rain. to inspire the builder in you.